Namaste, class 8 student. I am your teacher Krishna Dital from Anpaswan Kaski. Now this is our second period. Okay. Now first period we have read about something, and our chapter is metal and non-metals, which is in chapter 13 of your textbook. In previous classes we have read about some elements. So what are the characteristics of the element? How many elements are there? There are total 118 elements, and there are among them 92 elements are natural element and 26 elements are made in the lab. So this thing we have read in earlier class, and according to the properties of the elements, elements are distinguished between or classified into three types. The three types are metal, non-metal and metalloids. So we have read about all the property of metal and non-metal in the previous class. Let's summarize this again about the properties of metals, non-metals and metalloids. Now metals are good conductor of electricity. All metals are good conductor of electricity. Metals are malleable in nature, that is, they can be beaten into the sheets. Okay. Also, metals are ductile in nature. Metals are found at or positioned at extreme left at modern periodic table. That means in group 1A, group 2A, group 3B, group 2B and group 3A. Metals are electropositive in nature. That means they have a tendency to lose electrons during the chemical reaction. And metals are lossless, that means metals are shiny in nature. Similarly, let's read about non-metals. Non-metals are bad conductor of electricity except carbon. Carbon is a non-metal which is good conductor of electricity. Non-metals are non-malleable, that means it cannot be beaten into the sheets. Non-metals are non-ductile, that means we cannot make wire from the non-metals. Non-metals are positioned at extreme right at modern periodic table. I think you have now read modern periodic table thoroughly, and you have got which are metals and which are non-metal also. So non-metals are found at the right side of the periodic table. That means from group 5A to group 0 you can find non-metals. And non-metals has the property of electronegativity. That means they have tendency to gain the electrons during chemical reaction. And they are non-metals are non-lossless. That means they are not shiny. They look dull in their physical appearances. Now let's go to the property of metalloids. Metalloids are semiconductor. This is a new word. I have told you already. Semiconductor means it shows the property of conductor as well as it shows the property of bad conductor or insulator. It is non-malleable. Metalloids cannot be beaten into the sheets. Metalloids are non-ductile. That means we cannot make wires of metalloids. The position of metalloid according to the modern periodic table is it is kept between metals and non-metals. That is in group 4A, group 5A, group 6A, group 5A, group 6A and 5A and group 6A. So another property of metalloids is it shows the both property of electropositive as well as electronegative. This means sometimes it shows tendency to gain electrons in chemical reaction as well as it shows tendency to lose electrons in chemical reaction. So when it loses electron it becomes electropositive, and when it gains electron it becomes electronegative. And lossless, that is shiny, metalloids are generally seen shiny. In physically you can observe metalloids as shiny. Now, and I have given you some oak also. I think now you can distinguish, you can name some metals, you can name some non-metals, you can name some metalloids. You can now differentiate between metals and non-metals. You are able to write 3 or 4 or even 5 properties of metal, non-metal and metalloids. 3. Okay. Now let's go to new thing. Now I have listed some very important definitions. So for this definition to be understood, you must read thoroughly about modern periodic table. You must look modern periodic table very thoroughly. So along with your modern periodic table, we are going to define something over here. I have around 6 definition or 6 new thing for you. 6 new thing for you, so that you will get knowledge, and this knowledge will be helpful for your further classes, even in your class 8, in your class 9, class 10 and other higher studies too. Okay, now see my students, see the definition alkali metals. Now we have just now known what are metals and name of metals. Now the new thing came over here, that is alkali metals. So we know that metals lie on different groups. So according to the group, according to the valency and according to their nature, metals are also classified in some different definitions. So number 1 is alkali metals. Now what are alkali metals? Let's read the definition first. We will be together reading this definition. Group 1A metals are very active. You have to read this thing very carefully. Group 1A metals are very active and have valency 1. Okay. Group 1A metals are very active and have valency 1, form alkali by reacting with metals. That means when you react group Ia elements with metals, they form alkali. First, have you heard the word alkali? Or you have eaten that? In our class, we have read already that water soluble bases are called alkali. So now, how these alkali are formed? What is the chemical reaction to make the alkali? Now we got over here. When we react group 1A metals, group 1A metals are very active and have valency 1, forms alkali by reacting with water. Now we got the definition. In group A, group 1A, there are metals, and these metals are very active in nature, very reactive in nature, and they have the valency 1. Group 1 means valency 1, and they form alkali with water. Now you got the thing alkali. Alkali means water soluble bases. Okay, so when these metals react with water, water soluble bases or alkali are formed. Be clear. When water is chemically reacted with group 1A metals, they form water soluble bases or they form alkali. So these metals are known as alkali metals. I think you are clear with now. So example of the alkali metals are lithium, sodium and potassium. That means when lithium is treated or chemically reacted with water, it forms alkali. Similarly, sodium when reacted with water forms alkali, and potassium also forms alkali. Have you got it that? Okay, let's revise once. When the group 1A metals are reacted with water, they form alkali. Since due to this characteristic, these metals are known as alkali metal. An example are lithium, sodium and potassium. In group 1A you can see hydrogen also, and that is non-metal. Now alkaline metals. Group 2A metals are also active metals and have valency 2, and their oxides form alkali with water. Now this is another interesting thing. Now group 2A metals. Now earlier in alkali metal we have read about Group 1a. Now alkaline metals. Why they are alkaline metals? They are alkaline metals, they are active metals, they are in the group 2 and their valence is also 2. And their oxides form alkali with water. In alkali metals, when they react with water, they form alkali. But in this case, their oxide, these metals oxides forms alkali when reacted with the water. So these metals are called alkaline metals. Example of alkaline metal are beryllium, magnesium, calcium. So when the oxide of beryllium react with water, alkali is formed. I think you are now clear. Don't be confused. There is a vast difference between alkali and alkaline metal. Alkali metal are those metal which when treated with water forms alkali, and those metals have valency 1. Alkali metals have valency 1. In case of alkaline valency, the metals have valency 2 and their oxide form alkali. They do not form alkali when reacted with water. Their oxides form alkali when treated with the water. They are called alkaline metals. Now let's go to the third, transition metals. Metals kept in group 3b to 2b have variable valencies and they are called transition metal. That means they don't have fixed valency like valency 1, valency 2. They have variable valency. That means they sometimes have valency 2, sometimes valency 3. I can give you the example of iron, Fe, ferrous, iron. Iron has two valencies, that is valency, sometimes it has a valency 2 and sometimes it has valency 3. That is in the ferrous and ferric form. Similarly, copper also, cupric and cuprous, it has two valencies, valency 1 and valency 2. So these metals which are variable valency are transition metal. I think you are now clear. Alkali metals have valency 1 and they form alkali when treated with water. And alkaline metals have valency 2 and they also form alkali when their oxide are treated with the water. And transition metal are those metals which are variable valency, like they have two valencies or three valencies that may happen. So example of alkali are lithium, sodium, potassium, and alkaline have example. The example of alkaline metals are beryllium, magnesium, and calcium. And the example of transition metals are iron, copper, etc. Now let's go to the other new definitions. Halogens. What are halogens? I think you have heard this word before also. Now I am going to describe the word. You have to see very carefully the definition. Non-metals kept in group 7a are very active. Now we have read about metals. Now we are going to the non-metals. Okay, halogen. In the term alkaline metal and transition metal are related to the metals. Now we are going to read two new words, halogen and inert gas. Now these are related to the non-metals. So let's go to the halogen. Non-metals kept in group 7a are very active. Non-metals are also active. Remember, you should not say that metals are only active, non-metals are non-active. No, non-metals are also active in nature. So non-metals which are kept in group 7a of modern periodic table are also active and have valency 1. They have also valency 1. They form salts by reacting with metals. When the non-metals of group 7a are combined or are reacted with metals, they form salts. So these non-metals are called halogen. Example, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, etc. Now read once more, my student. Halogens are those non-metal whose valence is 1 and they form salts while reacting with metals. So those non-metals which form salt while reacting with metals are called halogens. And the example of halogens are fluorine, chlorine, bromine, etc. You can see in modern periodic table also. Now the next is inert gases. Inert gases is also related to the non-metals. So non-metals which are kept in group 0 of modern periodic table are inactive in nature. That means they are not reactive. They do not react with anybody, and their valency is also 0. Okay, are you clear? Non-metals, there are some non-metals which are kept in the group 0 of modern periodic table. They are inactive in nature. Chemically they are inactive. They do not react with anybody, and their valency is also 0. So these inactive gases are called inert gases. These inactive gases are called inert gases. So you can define what are inert gases. Inert gases are those gases or those non-metals which are kept in group 0 and inactive in nature, and their valency is also 0. So that was you have to give example of. Now I have not written here inert example of inert gases, so you can easily go through the group 0 of modern periodic table and distinguish what are inert gases. Helium is a inert gases. Another thing about inert gases are they have duplet and octet structure. That means their outermost shell contains either 2 number of electrons or 8 number of electrons. Remember, their outer or their valence shell, outermost shell of the atom contains either 2 or 8 elements. If their outermost have 2 electrons, then they are duplet in nature, and if their outermost have 8 electrons, they are octet in nature. So this is the thing about inert gases. Now about metalloids. Metalloids I have told you already. Metalloids are 6 in number. The name of metalloids are boron, silicon, germanium, antimony and tellurium. I have told you already about silicon and germanium also. So there are 6 in number. Metalloids are 6 in number. They are boron, silicon, germanium, antimony and tellurium. They show the property of both metal and non-metal. So before entering into the properties, ores and uses of different metal and non-metal, let's revise this very important definition. So I am going to thoroughly. Alkali metals, group 1A metals which are very active and have valency 1 are alkali metal, and they form alkali by reacting with water. The example of alkali metals are lithium, sodium, potassium, etc. And another is alkaline metal, the group 2A metals which are also active and whose valence is 2, and when their oxide react with water they form alkali. So they are called alkaline metals. The example of alkaline metals are beryllium, magnesium, calcium, etc. And another is transitional metal. Metals which have variable valency are called transition metals. And we have read about halogens. Halogens is about non-metals. So non-metals which are kept in group 7A which are very active in nature have valency 1 and form salt when reacting with metal. So this type of non-metal are halogens. The example of halogens are fluorine, chlorine, bromine, etc. And about inert gases, non-metals which are kept in group 0 and whose valence is also 0 and inactive in nature. They do not react with anybody. That are called inert gases, and inert gases have duplet and octet structure. And another we have read there are 6 metalloids. They are boron, silicon, germanium, antimony and tellurium. So this much for today. You should know all these 6 definitions so that you can be good at chemistry and you can do well in this chapter. And from next class we will read about some important metals and non-metals and metalloids and their uses, their property. Thank you class.